Okay, so we have a request to have a texture be placed into Animate. And so I've got this texture that I grabbed from textures.com. And the method that I like to do is to turn it into what looks like a vector, but have elements of the texture. So what I want to do first is duplicate this background, actually. So I'm going to hit the hamburger menu there and say duplicate layer, and background copy is okay. I'm going to turn this one off and then go up to filter and filter gallery. Now this particular image is working because the image mode last time that I did this, it didn't work because there was an issue with the image mode was not at 8-bit. And actually this is set to grayscale. I wouldn't want it to be grayscale anyways. I would want it to be RGB. So I'm going to jump it into that and say don't merge, because we're going to ultimately add color to this. So image mode, RGB 8-bit. Some of them come from textures.com at 16-bit. So you'll want to make sure it's set to 8-bit. Otherwise you won't get the filter gallery. So I'm going to click on filter gallery or filter in Photoshop, then click filter gallery. And the technique that I like to use is artistic and cutout. So this already gives us a very like painterly approach. You don't have to use this, and you can play with all the other kinds of ones, but I like this one a lot. The levels, if you have less levels, it creates less numbers of colors. This one's nice because it's got quite a bit of that woolen texture that we're going for with our with your particular piece, Anna, which is a, what is it called? It's a sash for a Scottish bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah, is he Scottish? Okay. So something like this. And even though this is beige right now, we can alter and add color in it, even into Animate. So I'm going to say, okay, to that. It's pretty cool. Save that out, file, save. It's on another screen right now, but save on my computer. Textures, I'm just going to call it plaid and put it into our folder. But ultimately we have to save it as a JPEG or a PNG, and I'll bring it in as a PNG into Animate. I think that is most effective. So when I save those, I like to go to export. Instead of the quick PNG, I like save for web because I have more control over it. Bring this over. Do you see that, Anna, on the screen?
Yep.
Okay. And so JPEG at high optimized is good. At 60 quality, it looks the same. It looks good. So I'm going to hit save. And plaid, I'm just going to put it in the right folder. Save. All right. So now that I've got that done, you are likely not seeing my Animate file, right? So and I have your old file folder, so could you, I'm going to pause the. All right, so now that we're in Animate with the file, and Anna, you are seeing Animate. Okay, we're going to bring the texture of the plaid. Do you want it to be in your matte form?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to touch on what that map form is, but it's all locked. So I'm going to lock everything, and then it's likely that it's under map, right? Because you're such a good file namer. Is it?
Well, no, I think it's under background because map is the other.
Oh, map is actually this. Okay, sure. Background. Is it down some?
Yes, I believe
likely. There you go.
There it is.
And like we said, I think it would be helpful to have some folders for
Yeah.
your files.
Mhm.
Okay, so I can see that this is highlighted and that is the background. One thing I am noticing, Anna, is your line is on a different layer than your fills, and they could be because you're just doing fills directly in. They should actually be on the same layer.
Mm.
Because you can just dump it and it ends up in it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to turn that back on and click on to this and then go to modify, convert to symbol. We're going to call that, you're calling it background.
Mhm.
I'm just going to call it map, background map to help to clarify. Movie clip is, actually, it doesn't even need to become a movie clip if the color was right coming out of Photoshop, but we're going to alter the color. So I'm still going to make this a movie clip. So now that's a symbol. I'm going to click into it to do the altering. And inside of the color, you have an option to do bitmap fill. Now we haven't imported the file into Animate yet. So I'm going to do that first. So go over to File and Import to Library. And like, here's the original JPEG, but I would want the one that I just made for you. That is called Plaid. It's an identity deck, plaid.jpg, say open. Okay, so I didn't put it in there yet, but by clicking on inside of color, choosing bitmap fill, and we've got a couple of bitmaps. Some of them are just your sketch or something. What was that?
That's cool.
So I think it's actually like not selected or something. So let's see, click, select, come along, do your little bitmappy thing. So that's like the template or something. Here's your plaid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if I wanted it to be at an angle or something, I would have to do that out of Photoshop. I'd have to push it at an angle in Photoshop. If I wanted to control it more, you could also use masking in Animate. And there's a demo on the website for masking, which means you put it and then you can turn it and mask the other areas. That is less helpful for when you're using it in animation. It's better to not have to mask. So we do use the bitmap fill a lot. Okay, so then the next part of what I wanted to show you is like, okay, so here it is behind there. It looks fantastic already, but your goal was to have it to be green. So we're gonna go into the properties. It's already selected. It's got that blue box around it. Go to properties, and then where it says color effects, right now it has none. If you don't have properties up, you go to window and you choose properties. But I'm going to choose color effects and go to advanced. You could just do tint or something, but advanced is the better one of this, because if you take red out by scrubbing down, you'll start to get into some, what we're seeing as cyan. If I take blue out, start to see it as green. Now, this is too bright for universal design, so we'll take some green out as well. You can see that it's getting darker. Maybe we want it to be lighter. Put some more red in it until I find something that is working. Now we had said, let's push it towards the blues, right? For the universal design. So something like that, although I think I want more texture in it. If I wanted it higher contrast, it's possible that I would have to go back to Photoshop, take the levels or the curves up to push the colors. You have more colors in yours originally, like there's green and orange and white, right? So I think you're gonna get a better look for what I think you're really actually going for. But that's how you alter colors with movie clips in Animate. Pretty cool. Do you think that's something that you'll want to use, Anna?
Yeah. Yeah, that looks, yeah, even just, not even just for like this stuff, but like just in general. It's just, I can already like imagine other places where that would be really useful.
Right, and this is a really cool piece. Very nice job on it. What do you think about it, Kieran?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah. Do you like this approach with some texture in it?
Like it really.
Yeah, I really like it.
Cool. All right.
Awesome.
So I'll stop the recording